So round number 2, why teach entrepreneurship to kids? Why, you said you having kids changed your perspective, immediately brought you back to it. But why not just put them in the school system like everyone else does? So why are you teaching them entrepreneurship?
A couple of reasons. One is I felt like I followed the rules, right? Which was I went to school, got a good education, and then got a good job and have had professional success, right? But something just, it's like this thing is just missing. And fortunately, I got to work with tons of entrepreneurs in the work that I did. And what I realized are a couple of things. One is a lot of people feel that way, that they follow the rules, but there's something more that they want. And being entrepreneurial is that thing that's going to get them there. However, what I also observed is that we could have like 2 people come into our center and ask for help who seemingly were at the same level of knowledge, resources, everything. You advise one person, they take that information and they go. You advise the other person and they just keep having excuses. They come back, And what that came down to me was there was a mindset issue. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to do a social experiment on my kids. And honestly, awesome. I think parenting is a social experiment, but I figured like if early on, if I began to rewire their brain and their thinking and their behavior such that when they have these experiences early, so that when they are adults and they go off in life, the willingness and the ability to take risks, to feel a sense of self-efficacy in self, saying like, yeah, I know I can figure it out, the perseverance, all of those things, that if I early on begin to create opportunities for them that later in life, regardless of whether or not they choose to be an entrepreneur, that they're going to be successful. Because you know, and I know, when you hire people, you want an entrepreneur. You want somebody who can take initiative.
We call them intrapreneurs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For me, it's like you're preaching right now. I'm getting so excited. I'm like, please, yes, like this is what we need. Yes. And you're absolutely right, because you know what happens at Lurn? It's not like I give one course to one student that I really like. I'm like, you get the real course of how to do this. And then I give like the crappy one to the other student. They both get the same exact course. One takes it and bam. The other, not just excuses. They come back and blame me for why they're not succeeding. It is such a mind-blowing experience, and you're absolutely right. It starts young. I think it starts, and I know for me, growing up, my dad was like super strict, and we had like, and back when I was a kid, I'm like, oh man, like why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? But I have a work ethic, and I have a way I perceive problems, and now I go back to, I'm like, thank you so much for building all of this into me. I have a question. Have your kids yet figured out that they're guinea pigs?
I don't know. They probably think so.
All right. How old are they? What is their age range?
They are 9, 11, and 13.
9, 11, and 13. That's so cool. I definitely want you to tell one of the stories, my favorite story, and I think it was Jonathan who was telling me. By the way, everyone, Jonathan's in the studio here. So thanks for coming in and supporting these. You guys are such an amazing team together. I think he was telling me the story of when your son wanted to travel somewhere.
Yeah.
Can you tell that story? It's such a cool story.
Yeah. So my son, Silas. So when we have been here a year, and so when we moved here, they were 3, 5, and 7. And so when Silas was 8 years old, I believe, my husband was going to be going back to Colorado to visit his mother. And so Silas said, hey, Mom, can me and my brothers go with Dad back to Colorado to see Grandma? And I said, well, Silas, 4 airline tickets, that's pretty expensive. And I said, but you can go if you can pay your own way. And so he said, okay, well, how much is an airline ticket? And I said, about $300. And so he paused for a moment and he said, okay. And then he said, can I sell free stuff? Can I find free stuff on Craigslist and resell it? I was like, yeah, you can. Now, honestly, I don't know where he got that from. I don't know if maybe he had seen some YouTube. I don't know. Yeah. Because I'm not looking for free stuff.
It's not like you told him the way to do it.
No, he came with that. I don't know. Maybe he had spoken to my husband. It was shocking to me, but I was like, yes, you can do that. And so what happened was he went on Craigslist and he looked for stuff, and then my husband would go with him to pick it up, and then I would help him take pictures of it and then upload it. And that's what he did. So he did that. He also washed cars in the neighborhood. And so because, for us, it's about...
How old was he? He was 7?
8.
8. Wow.
8.
Wow.
Yeah, he was 8 years old. And so then he washed cars in the neighborhood. And so what we did with him was we practiced with him his pitch. And he had to go up to the doors. We stood in the background. So we were just the cleaning crew, right?
Yeah.
He's the boss.
Yeah.
So he had to go to the door and knock on the door and ask people. And we helped him with the pitch, of course, initially. But he had to do all of that. And so over the summer, he did those things. And he and his father traveled to Colorado.
That's so cool. How much did he end up making?
Gosh, well, you know what? The beauty of starting young is that people also give him stuff, right?
Yeah, of course.
So he made over $300. So he had spending money as well.
Oh, that's great. I was actually going to ask you, did he pay for the tickets for his 2 brothers to go?
No,
No, not yet.
No, he didn't. He's not that generous. Just quite yet. We're working on that.
That's a good brother right there. That's so cool. I love the story. I just do, because how many times do parents just pay for that? But such an awesome learning opportunity.
It is.
And you're right, that's an entrepreneur. What he just portrayed is one of my biggest core values at Lurn that I try to teach outside to the students and to our own team members, which is solutions, not problems.
Yes.
And he came up with his own solution. You can get as much help as you want to implement the solution, but you should own the solution and bring it. Really cool story. All right, so you know what? Let's move right into round number 3, because this is really important.